Hi there everybody, this is David, and I have some exciting news for y'all. This is in regards to the Suikoden series. Not only are we getting more information on the Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remastered from the actual director himself, but he's talking about the future of the series, insofar as maybe continuing on to Suikoden 6, getting a whole other entry, and I want to go over everything that there is in this interview on Famitsu, and I do think that that is worth a sub, as I do try my hardest to hit the 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. With your help, your like, and your sub, I just know that I can get there. So thank you so much for this. And I also wanted to send a big shout out and thank you to my friend Miyazaki Man for making me aware of this. He sent me a message last night. He's like, David, did you see this article about Suikoden 6? And I'm like, no, Suikoden 6, what are you talking about? And he linked it over to me, and I'm like, dude, this is amazing. And he made a video about it too, and he's also doing some giveaways on his channel, so I am going to link that in the video description if you want to check that out as well. If you've heard of him before, that's because I've been on his show multiple times for RPG trivia, and I've always won, because no one can beat the master. So anyway, this is an interview in Famitsu magazine, and it is titled Gensu Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remastered. Features an event viewer that lets you look back on famous scenes. In the developer interview, we asked about the details of the changes and the circumstances behind the revival. This was at the Tokyo Game Show of this year. Now, if you are not aware, this game is set to be released on March 6th of next year, and it is a combination of both Suikoden 1 and Suikoden 2. And those were released back on the PlayStation 1 in '95 and in '98, respectively. If you've never played the games before, they're a whole lot of fun. They're turn-based JRPGs featuring world maps, featuring a ton of party members, 108 of them to be exact. Not all 108 will actually join your party, but they might go into your castle and open up a merchant shop or something, or work on the farm or whatever, things like that. But maybe about half of them or so will join up your party, all with different attacks and skills and abilities and strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that. And you can have 6 of these characters in your party as you fight, and the battles are like lightning fast. So it is a very, very, very good series, and here you can get on the ground floor with this remaster right here. So it says here, the planning stages for this remaster began around 2020, and they asked, why did you even want to revive these games? It has been 25 something years since these games came out. And he said that he just thought that it would be a good idea to revive the IP, and that everybody enjoys working on these games, so that's how they started moving forward. They also said that Suikoden 5 released in 2006, and then the very last game in the series, Suikoden The Woven Web of the Centuries, which never released here in America. It was on the PSP. That came out in 2012. However, there is an English translation patch for that game if you do want to play that, and I spoke about that in a video review back in the day whenever that patch came out. So they said there was a lot of difficult aspects in order to revive it, but they thought that the best way in order to revive it wasn't to just come out flat out and be like, hey, here's Suikoden 6. They said, we need to kind of start at the basics back at the beginning, and they thought that it would be the best thing to do would be to include these 2 games in a collection, and they thought, you know what, let's just not just emulate them, let's actually remaster them and deliver them in a form that current customers can enjoy with, different added accessibility issues, things like that, like battle fast forwarding and things like that, and just simplifying the menu, making it a lot easier to actually use. Now, we got these games back on the PlayStation. Over in Japan, they got a port of them over on the PSP, which we never got. These games are actually based upon the PSP version, and they said that they've actually gone ahead and they've thoroughly reviewed that PSP version, fixed all sorts of bugs and everything, and made it almost a completely different game. They did not add any kind of Sega Saturn additional elements, though, but they did fix various bugs, such as bugs that would help them complete recipes, because in the original version of the game, it was very hard to complete the recipes. They were kind of bugged out and things like that, so that has been fixed. They also fixed the translation insofar as a lot of typos and just continuity errors, things that really didn't make sense the first time around. They've also completely optimized the loading times, so the loading is like lightning fast, they said, and a gallery function has been added that allows you to replay various events. So if you want to see, Luca Blight go, "Die, pig!" Ugh! You can go ahead and see that scene as well. So that's really cool. They just made everything a lot brighter, a lot nicer as well. It says here that they also fixed things such as the frame rates, and they made adjustments while checking every single platform too. So that's really good. You're not going to get like a really janky port over on the Switch or anything else like that. There's also different modes that let you listen to the various sounds, the OSTs, the videos that play during the game, and all that kind of stuff. So that's cool. Not only that, but they redrew all of the portraits too, all the facial portraits. I'm going to show this little thing on the screen that you can see there, because the portraits actually look quite beautiful this time around. There was over 130 different portraits that they had to change, but they went ahead and they did that, and they look absolutely beautiful. None of the lines have been changed, so don't worry about that. Everything that Luca Blight says and does is still there. Don't worry, you're still going to see the double crossings, the poisonings, the murders. You're going to see all that good stuff. None of that has been changed. The only thing that has been changed is that Richmond has quit smoking, and it says that is because of overseas, meaning us, strict regulations regarding depictions of smoking. So the smoking has been removed, as well as ashtrays have been removed as well. One thing that they did not touch was character balance. They didn't want to change the fundamentals of the game, so they didn't change any characters, like strengthen anybody, and they didn't weaken anybody either. But they did, again, adjust any sort of bugs that happened. As far as things like the Clive event, there's this one character, Clive, and in order to get him, you need to see all these different scenes within like 12 hours. So it's very hard to get Clive to join up with your party. It kind of reminds me of like the Excalibur 2 sort of thing in Final Fantasy IX. But it might be actually a little bit easier this time around, because there is a fast forward function during battles. So it won't be as bad to get him, but they still do have that 12-hour time limit there as well. Then they go on to ask, they're like, hey, you know how in Suikoden 2 you could put different runes on different parts of the body, like the head and the arms and everything like that, and put 3 different runes on each party member? Can you retcon that and do that in Suikoden 1? And they said no, that would fundamentally change the balance of the game, and that would lose the originality of that first game. So they left that as it was. So that's good as far as I'm concerned. They didn't make it super easy, like a lot of these remasters and remakes come through and they make things super freaking easy. So they didn't do that. But it did say that they did strengthen the effects of cooperative attacks in combined magic during battle, so that it's more, useful to do that. Then the final question is, I would like to hear your thoughts on the long-awaited release of Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remastered. And he goes, I really wanted to somehow bring Gensu Suikoden back into the world, and now I can finally deliver it. I hope that the IP Gensu Suikoden will continue to expand from here into the future. So he's saying, hey, this isn't the last you're going to see of Suikoden. We're going to see more. This might be a Suikoden 6. This might be a remaster of Suikoden 3 or 4 or 5, or a collection of those as well. We don't know. Hopefully, we will get emulated ports of those PS2 games, or, remasters, whatever, it all works for me. But in addition to that, really, the thing that I want most is a brand new game. I'm kind of sick of all like the ports and everything. It's great to have them, but let's get some new games in here too. We have a lot of ports on the horizon, a lot of remasters on the horizon. I want to see some new games, and I am so looking forward to a possible Suikoden 6 in the future. Now, I want to hear about your thoughts on the Suikoden series, this HD remaster, and do you think that Suikoden 6 might be coming in the future? I think it all depends on the sales of this collection. Let me know in the comments. Let's all talk and chat about it, and as always, have a good day.